And it's time for us to have a conversation on the nutrition segment today. And today on the nutrition segment, we're going to be talking about how diet and nutrition affects mental health. What's the connection? Let's welcome our guest today, who is, and well, she's not new, but she's not a regular guest. But today we're going to be welcoming Pearl Ehonam Salome. She's a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and she's going to help us to get into this conversation. Good morning, Pearl.
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Fantastic. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
All right. So, mental health is, one of the biggest issues that we don't pay heed to as much as we should. But all the same, it is a major health concern.
Yeah.
And of course, anything that is a health concern, diet somewhere has a part to play in all of that. Take us into this. How is the food we eat related to the state of our mental health?
Thank you very much. Actually, you know, the brain is part of the human body.
Yeah.
And even at the site of the food, it communicates to the brain, and then the brain communicates to your stomach.
Okay.
And so the food we eat has a very strong impact on our mental health. It actually starts from infancy. And so when a woman is pregnant, the kind of food she eats, and research has shown that if a pregnant woman is eating mostly junk foods, what we call junk foods, foods that only offer calories but less nutrients, it has a huge impact on how the brain develops, even in the womb before the baby comes out. And we've also realized that from age 14, actually a lot of mental disorders start. And so using diet...
From age 14?
Yes.
Wow.
So using diet to correct some of these things will go a long way to reduce the number of mental health illnesses we see around us. And also there's a part of the brain called the hippocampus.
Yes.
It's the part of the brain that actually regulates anxiety, memory, your ability to remember things and focus and concentrate. So research is showing now that if you are found of eating a lot of junks, right, it reduces or diminishes the ability of that part of the brain to function well.
Wow.
So diet has a strong link with mental health.
So basically you're saying that loads and loads and loads and loads of fried foods and all those things, basically, it's not good for students.
Yeah. And even the sugary stuff, so the drinks, the sodas, the fizzy drinks that we keep taking and even giving our children has a strong impact on their brain health.
Yet somehow we seem to have gotten this memo that as long as they are growing kids, they need the energy anyway, so they should do all the sodas. When they get to a certain age, they can choose to stop if they want to.
Well, it's actually a wrong perception.
Wow.
Because when it comes to food, when it comes to even the carbohydrates, we get it from different sources. So if we are concerned about their brain health, we should be focusing more on foods that would actually improve how the brain develops. Mind you, they are still growing and the brain is still developing. Actually, the brain keeps developing until they get to age 5. So after age 5, you're just maintaining the cells. Yeah, the cells just keep replacing itself and renewing itself. And so you want to start off from a good note so that it has a long-term good benefit on the child's mental health and brain health as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the foods that we should be focusing on if we want to? We'll look at, we'll go into a bit more detail in terms of what we should avoid, but let's look at the food specifics that we should be eating more of.
Okay, so with the foods that actually are beneficial for brain health, we're looking at foods that have a lot of antioxidants. Right, we are also looking at foods that have omega-3 fatty acids because, you know, the brain communicates with the other parts of the body and they are using signals, electrical signals. And some of these foods actually help in the replacement and building up of some of these signals that are sent to the other parts of the body. So when it comes to the protein foods, we're looking at the seeds and nuts.
Okay.
So chia seeds, flax seeds, almond, cashew nuts. So when you're thinking of snacks, you should be looking at some of these things more. And then I know that some people like to prepare smoothies.
Yes.
So fruits and vegetable combinations with some of these seeds are helpful. Okay. And then also when it comes to the seafoods, so your salmon, your sardine, your mackerel, you know, all these things have omega-3 fatty acids that actually help in the brain development. It builds us stronger so that you can actually even concentrate better. You don't forget things easily. Sometimes people are even holding things and they've forgotten that
why they
are holding it and then they are looking for it. It all comes from what we are eating.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's an image on the screen right now. Let's take a look at that and then walk us through what it is that we're seeing here. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so what we're seeing there is foods, different protein foods that have the omega,
proteins.
Proteins that have anti-inflammatory benefits for us and also have omega-3 fatty acids, like I said earlier on.
For example.
So you see salmon there, you see a piece of chicken. But if you look at the chicken critically, it's without fat.
Yes.
It's without the skin.
It's very lean.
Yes, so lean protein, and then of course the seeds and the nuts and the legumes. So we are saying that it is better we shift gradually to more of the less of the fatty meals, the lean proteins, and then the plant-based meals because they offer more benefits to the brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that we should be looking at in terms of the vegetables?
Yeah, of course, when it comes to the vegetables, we can't do without them and the fruits as well because they provide the body with anti-inflammatory benefits. You know, the body goes through inflammation every now and then. It's the body's own way of fighting negative signals that comes to the body. And when the body goes through an inflammation, even though it's a positive one, going through it for a longer period exposes the body to some diseases. And so you want to eat foods that would provide antioxidants that will deal with the free radicals or the products of the inflammation that your body is going through. And that's exactly what the fruits and vegetables do for us, even though we know people find it difficult to add it to their meals. But now we are saying that even with the times we are in, with COVID around, it is better you focus more on foods that would protect the integrity of your immune system, that will help your immune system to fight better than those that would bring it down.
Okay. So if we are looking at, so we're looking at proteins, we're looking at omega-3 oils, we're looking at proteins from chia seeds, we're looking at what other things, from nuts, we're looking at eggs and lean meats and so on and so forth. Then we're looking at vegetables, and fruits as well. Okay. What should we avoid as a no-no? I know you mentioned earlier sugars and so on and so forth. What should we avoid completely if our mental health is to be a priority?
Yeah, I would say the first thing we should try and keep out is smoking. Smoking.
Okay.
That's one thing. And also limit alcohol intake.
Okay. How does smoking impact on us?
Yeah, because when you smoke, people who smoke, what happens is that with time, you are putting the body through a lot of inflammation. And that's going to damage the brain cells with time. Okay. And you're not getting any nutrients from what you're smoking. Yeah. And so, of course, looking at the times you are in, still you want to focus more on things that will be beneficial for you. Yeah. So smoking is a no-no. And also, when it comes to the carbohydrates, a lot of us are used to the quick fix. You know, we have a busy life, so quick this, quick that. All those quick pre-packaged processed foods actually have less calories, less nutrients, but offer so much calories, which usually doesn't help, you know, because a lot of them are also simple sugars. The more simple sugars you take in, the more your body will be forced to produce a lot of insulin, which is a hormone, to deal with it. And once the cycle goes on for too long, you are exposing yourself to some non-communicable diseases. So, for example, you could easily get diabetes, heart condition, and the rest, even cancers. So it's better you focus more on the whole meal carbohydrates than the refined and processed ones.
So if you're watching Nutrition segment this morning and you have any questions for Pearl Salome, kindly send it to the use the hashtag if you're on social media, Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. For those of you outside Ghana, kindly prefix that number with +233. Now, Pearl, the challenge for a lot of people is that they say, look, organic food is expensive, you know, I can't afford it, so listen, let me just eat cheap and, you know, whatever, what can come, can come. You know, how do we approach healthy living to protect our mental health?
Well, our mental health is that I would say it should be the topmost priority on everybody's list, right? Because your brain is like a remote control. It's controlling all other parts of your body. And so when you are stressed, it affects even the way you eat. Right? Your mood actually affects how you eat. So for example, when you go to events, when you go to party or weddings or funerals, you can just sit back and watch how people eat at such events. Your mood determines what you choose to eat, and even the amount. When people are excited, the way they eat is different from when they are in a
depressed. Also,
I mean, when they are miserable. And research has shown that, you know, there are two hormones that actually control our satiety and then that feeling of feeling hungry to eat. And then when you are stressed, they are affected. You have hormonal imbalances with these things. So yes, you want to prioritize. It may be expensive, but when you look at it in the long term, it's actually not so expensive. Because think about this, if you have to be on medication to manage a particular condition, your quality of life even reduces. And so immediately you may think, oh, it's a lot of money. But when you look at it in the long term, your ability to be productive at work changes. For example, if somebody has a high blood pressure, suddenly develops a stroke, you know, you can't function the way you used to function. So I would say healthy food is not expensive if you are looking at it in the long term. And even when you look at the maths, when you do the maths, you 1 week, in 7 days, you do the maths and then calculate the amount of money you use to buy the junks and compare it to you buying fresh food. You realize that actually buying the healthy stuff it's actually less expensive than buying the junks, because a box of pizza now, medium size, will be about 60 Ghana cedi or more. Compared to you buying some vegetables, some apples, some oranges, some bananas. You know, so it's actually less expensive, but we think it's a perception people have that eating healthy is expensive. It's not. It's not when you look at it.
So let's look at a few common mental health challenges and what you would prescribe specifically to somebody having those challenges to deal with them in terms of their nutrition. So for example, somebody says, listen, I'm always stressed. I always feel stressed. First of all, is stress considered a mental health challenge? And if so, what would you do?
Well, stress it's a part of our lives. I mean, there's a positive side of stress and then the negative side of it. When it becomes a mental health challenge, when your ability to function well as a healthy being changes, because of the stress. A stressful situation can actually alert you to take a positive step. That's the positive side of it. But when it hampers your ability to do things that you would usually do. So for example, for some people, when they are stressed, they want to stay in bed the whole day. They do not want to talk to anybody. They just want to be by themselves. They don't even want to eat. That's bad. It's gradually leading into a mental illness. So there are things you can do. There are foods you can actually eat to improve your mood. For example, there are some types of tea that you can take in the mornings to calm you down. Yes.
Interesting.
There are different types of tea. I think we can show some of them on the screen for viewers to see. So
what kind of tea were you referring to?
So we have the chamomile tea. And peppermint tea, turmeric tea. So this we see is turmeric tea. It's made with turmeric and then cinnamon in there. And then some milk. You could add a little bit of honey to it to improve the taste for you. And this is a very relaxing tea because it has a lot of antioxidants in it. So if you are finding it difficult to sleep, you can have this in the evenings before bed. And even in the morning, first thing in the morning, you can have some tea. Actually, when you compare the countries that take a lot of tea, research has shown that they live longer. They have a longer lifespan than those who do not take the teas and do more of the sugary beverages. So I think it's high time we switch certain things to improve our general well-being, our wellness, and our mental health state.
What about children and their mental well-being? What are some of the things you can share with us as far as diet is concerned?
Well, as far as diet is concerned,
specific to children.
Specifically to children. Like I said, their brain is still growing, and after 5, like I said, everything is formed. You can't change too much about it. You're just looking at maintenance. So, typically in our African homes, children are not given priority when it comes to the proteins. So, for example, when we prepare the food, if it's chicken, it's probably the neck, which doesn't have so much meat, or the feet that is given to the child.
Good Lord.
And so
all the wrong things, upside down.
Yes, so the amount of proteins they should be getting right from the beginning, they are lacking. So I would encourage viewers, especially parents, caregivers, because these children are our future leaders. In the next 30 years, 40 years, you and I will be grandparents. They will be making the decisions for us. So if we don't make sure that their mental well-being, their brain health is well developed, then we are putting ourselves in a very tight, bad position. So we should make sure that the milk, the eggs, the granules, all the rich sources of proteins, we should give them a greater part when we are serving them. It shouldn't be the other way around. You serve them with a lot of maybe rice with one abobi on top or one coffee on top of it. We should make sure that we are giving them a lot of protein so that it helps with their mental being. And then also we should limit the amount of sugary beverages that we give them. So all the sodas, you may want to show love to your kid, but then show them positive love. That will have a good impact on their brain health.
Fantastic. Now, we have a few questions here. Good morning. Grateful for this nutrition bit. Is it possible for her to give typical Ghanaian dishes that the average person can afford so we can identify these things easily? Talk to us about a couple of dishes.
A couple of dishes. So typically in our Ghanaian homes, we may do boiled yam with, so you can have your boiled yam with a yo-yo stew. With some agushi and an egg. And then you have your avocado by the side. This is like a complete meal because you have all the food groups in there. You can also have something like rice. So your rice with your bean stew, with your avocado or some vegetables, your egg or your fish, maybe salmon or sardine by the side. That's also a complete meal. But what we are saying is that people should start cutting down on the carbohydrates a little bit. If you are not involved in so much energy-intensive activity, it's better you limit your carbohydrate and do more of the vegetables at a meal, because the vegetables are going to provide you with nutrients that will help prevent illnesses, infections, you know, and also boost how your immune system is functioning. So let's do a switch. Instead of a mountain full of rice, it should be a mountain full of stew or vegetables, and then less of a little bit of your carbohydrate and your protein.
I don't know where that thing came from, you know, where we just load up on the carbohydrates and have very little of everything else. One last question here. Does cigarettes that's prescribed by doctors also affect mental health of people?
Please come again.
Okay. Does cigarette that's prescribed by doctors, does it also affect the mental well-being of people?
Okay, so if I'm getting it right, you said prescribed.
Yeah.
So if it is prescribed by your doctor, obviously it's probably because of a condition. That is why he may prescribe that for you. So I'm sure your doctor would be following and would know the dosages to give you so that it doesn't harm your mental health or your brain health.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this. This is a very important conversation. And
thank you for having me.
We should. I want to just quickly give us a reminder before you leave us. GT Bank has brought some new facilities that's available for SMEs. Now, GT Bank is saying that you're here to offer quick loans to help you to stock up your shops, to clear your goods, to implement that new business idea. All you have to do is to simply dial *737 *0#. That's *737 *0#. Select SME credit and then follow the prompts to give you access to the flexible loyalty offer at an exceptional rate. And this time, the payback is, you know, returning your payment is within the next 6 months. So you have a whole 6 months to pay back on that. Now, it's good for salons, for schools, for consultancy firms, churches, boutiques, hospitality agencies, and many more. You can depend on GT Bank's SME credit. Now, remember, terms and conditions apply. For further inquiries, kindly call the toll-free number 0800 124 000. Guaranteed Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? Now, before you leave us, Pearl, older people, they are at the point where some people are struggling with, you know, senility and all of that. What should older people do as far as losing memory loss and all of those things in terms of their diet?
Yeah, so with older people, because they are at a higher risk of having dementia and some of those things, it is better, like I said earlier on, they focus more on foods that will improve their memory. There are times even when, if they need supplementation, we focus on some specific supplements and help them with it, because we know that as you are aging, your taste buds and things also change. So their eating habits actually also change for the older folks. So the people around them, taking care of them, should help them focus more on foods that will improve their memory. So the seeds and nuts, like I mentioned earlier on, the oily fishes. So within a week, at least they should have about between 2 to 4 times in a week, have their protein source from seafood. So salmon or mackerel or sardine should be part of their meals, as well as the seeds and the nuts. And of course, we can't do without the vegetables and the fruits daily for them. And you know, as they are aging, they're also losing their dentition. So sometimes chewing becomes a problem for them. So the people around them should find interesting ways to get the food to them so that they can still enjoy it.
Fantastic. Thank you. We've been speaking with Pearl Ehonam Salome. She is a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and she's been helping us to understand how to use our diet and nutrition to impact positively on our mental health. Where can people find you?
On social media, I'm PearlSel1, and on Facebook, Pearl Salome, on Twitter, Pearl TJB.
Pearl TGB.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Pearl.